Cook Burgess. It's not just property, it's personal.
Hey guys, Paul here from Cook Burgess, and in this short video I wanted to talk to you about the Legionnaires Risk Assessment. And this is a risk assessment that as landlords we are duty bound to either undertake ourselves or to outsource to companies to do for us, or to at least make sure that our letting agency is doing this for us. And that risk assessment is there to try and prevent Legionnaires Disease. Legionnaires Disease is a particular kind of pneumonia caused by the bacterium Legionella pneumophila. And Legionella pneumophila is a bacteria that likes growing in warm, stagnant water. It grows in the water and then it's transmitted by the aerosol or by the vapour of that water, can be breathed in and can cause infections. It's not transmitted from person to person, and it usually affects people who are already sick with a weak immune system or who are a little bit later on in life. It's called Legionnaires Disease because in 1960s something it infected a load of people that were attending an American Legion meeting. Anyway, so it's important to us as landlords because we have places where this bug can grow. And the risk assessment tool that we use is from the Residential Landlords Association. It's a PDF document that you can download. It's free if you're a member, and it's a great tool because it just goes through the risk assessment. You can fill it out, scan it, save it in your CRM, and then it's there, you know, if you need it for your licensing arrangements or if the council ever asks for it. And if you identify any risks, you can address them. So the risk assessment looks at a few things really. So the main gist of this is that the bacteria likes warm, stagnant water. It doesn't like extremes of cold, and it doesn't like extremes of heat either, because those two extremes will kill it. So if we've got those two extremes in our property, then the chances are we're not going to have problems with this bug. So to do the risk assessment, you're going to need a digital thermometer. Go and buy one of these from any kind of cooking shop or Screwfix, 8-10 quid, and you've got yourself a digital thermometer. Turn your cold water tap on, stick the probe underneath. If it goes colder than 20 degrees, that's good, the bug doesn't like that. Put the hot water tap on. If it goes hotter than 50 degrees, the bug doesn't like that heat either, so that will kill it. That's great. It will also ask us about cold water storage tanks. So you might have seen these up in the loft of the property. You'll have a header tank where water's stored. You need to make sure that that's insulated. You also need to make sure that it's got a lid on it and that it looks clean. You know, it doesn't need to look like a minging pond with all kinds of slime and stuff on it. It needs to be clean. Other things that the risk assessment has a look at is shower heads. So the bug likes growing in the shower heads. So your shower heads need to be bleached and sterilised every 6 months. So that's something that you can, put it in your CRM as a reminder, but your cleaners need to be made aware that, as well as the routine cleaning, every 6 months the shower heads must be thoroughly disinfected. It also talks about redundant legs and dead legs. So areas of pipework that aren't frequently used. So maybe you've got a toilet right at the back of the property or a shower that's never used and the water in that pipework isn't circulated. If you have that, that's a risk as well. That needs to be flushed frequently, otherwise you're at risk of having Legionella bacteria growing there. Unoccupied properties is another risk. So you might be renting to students and they may not be at the property for 2 or 3 months during the summer. If that water is stagnant and it's not being circulated, then you need to be going there and making sure that that water is turned on and that the water is moving. You also need to be able to make sure that your boiler is turned up so that the heat setting either on the boiler or on the hot water storage tank is greater than 60 degrees, because it needs to stay nice and hot to kill those bugs and reduce the risk. And you also need to provide advice to your tenants on how to minimise the risk of the Legionella bacteria growing. And the RLA, again, have got a great 2-3 page handout that you can either give it to your tenants or do what we do, have it as a PDF document stored up in the cloud and have it accessible on the virtual notice boards that we have in our property. There's another video on how to make one of those virtual notice boards if you need to. So there we go, Legionnaires Disease risk assessment. Not particularly difficult. You can do it yourself or you can pay somebody else £60 to £80 to do it. If you've got 10 properties, that could be £600 to £800 a year. So you're probably better off either training somebody in your team to do it, maybe your cleaners, maybe your handyman, and getting it done in-house. But it's something that you do need to do, and it's something that you need to be able to record and have records of for the council. If anyone's got any questions, as always, or if anyone's got any comments, if I've missed anything, if there's anything else important that you feel we need to add to the videos, then please get in touch. And until the next one, take care.